This plant is native to Mexico, Colima, Durango, Guerrero, Jalisco, Mexico, Michoacán, Morelos, Nayarit, and Sinaloa, where it grows in deciduous or sparse forests, grasslands, and fallow lands between 600 and 1.800 m of elevation. Johann Gottfried Zinn, a German anatomist and botanist, was honored with the genus 1727 to 1759. The species name is derived from the Latin adjective elegans, which means distinctive, elegant, with obvious reference. Zinnia, youth and age, youth and old age, English, zinnia, French, zinnia, Italian, zina, Portuguese, flor de papel, rosa mystica, zinnia, Spanish, zinni, German. Zinnia elegans Schock. 1792, is a much variable annual herbaceous plant, erect, ramified, 0.15-1,2 m tall, with wrinkled stems due to a rigid down. It has opposite, sessile leaves, amplexicol, which clasps the stem at the base, ovate to lanceolate, 2 to 10 cm long and 1 to 2 cm broad, rough to the touch. The typical flower heads of the Asteraceae are terminal inflorescences of 4 to 7 cm diameter, solitary, on an 8 to 10 cm long peduncle, formed by a host of sessile flowers spirally inserted on a conical or cylindrical base, the receptacle, surrounded by an involucre formed by several series of obovate imbricate bracts, the outer ones being 2 to 4 mm long, and the inner ones up to 10 mm. The corolla of the outer rings 8 to 13, many more in cultivated forms. Flowers, called ray florets, is obovate to oblanceolate, 1.5 to 3 cm long, formed by 5 petals united together, primarily purple-violet in color. The ray florets are female and, like the petals of a single flower, serve to attract the pollinator's attention. The bisexual flowers, known as disc florets, are about 8 mm long and have a yellow tubular corolla with 5 dark purple-edged lobes. In the Asteraceae, the fruits, known as achenes, or, more correctly, cypselae, contain only one seed. Ray floret fruits are about 8 mm long and 3,5 mm wide, with small rigid bristles covering them. Almost all colors, except blue, for blooming that lasts until autumn. Giuseppe Mazza. Almost all colors, except blue, for blooming that lasts until autumn. Giuseppe Mazza. The disc florets are ciliate and approximately 5 mm long. It reproduces very easily by seed, either in the winter in a sheltered location where it germinates in 1 week at 22 C, or in the spring directly in the ground. The first flowering occurs about 2 months after seeding. When it was first introduced in Europe at the end of the year 1796, it immediately piqued people's interest, even in the early years of its spread. The high degree of inherent variability in the shape and color of the flowers was immediately noted. In fact, plants with colors other than purple-violet began to appear spontaneously, and these were quickly noticed and disseminated, as was the case with the first with scarlet-red flowers and the second with white flowers. The true watershed moment occurred during the second half of the 800s, with the appearance of the first variety with double flower. The ray florets, which were originally 8 to 12 in the cultivated forms, have become much more numerous. Giuseppe Mazza. The ray florets, which were originally 8 to 12 in the cultivated forms, have become much more numerous. Giuseppe Mazza. Since that time, there has been a surge in the selection and crossing of varieties with semi-double and double flowers, which have, in a matter of years, replaced the botanical forms with simple flowers of the most varied colors. In this way, and in a short period of time, Zinnia elegans became one of the most widely cultivated garden plants. Its popularity stems not only from the long period of time it blooms, from late spring to late fall, and from the intense and bright colors, which range from white to yellow, pink, red, dark purple, but blue. There is also a green variety called Envy, but also from the ease with which it can be grown, the rate of growth and, more importantly, the ease with which a seed can be obtained. Aside from the numerous color variations, the varieties are distinguished by the posture, shape, and size of the flower head. We progress from dwarf cultivars with diameters of 4 cm to giant cultivars with diameters of 15 cm. Giuseppe Mazza's yellow disc florets are 5-lobed and about 5 mm long. Giuseppe Mazza's yellow disc florets are 5-lobed and about 5 mm long. In terms of shape, we have simple, semi-double, double, dahlia, cactus-like flowers, or with thin and twisted petals, ray florets, and pompon. It requires full sun and is not particularly picky about soil, as long as it drains well, as it is prone to radical rotting in the presence of stagnant humidity, even though it prefers sandy, organic-rich soils. It may be attacked by fungal diseases, most notably powdery mildew, in particularly humid climates, Erysife siceracearum. It is therefore critical, when carrying out the installation, to avoid situations of stagnant wetness by properly spacing the plants, at least 30 to 60 centimeters depending on the posture, dwarf or giant. To avoid this, they have selected varieties resistant to white mildew in recent years, particularly new hybrids of Zinnia elegans and Zinnia angustifolia with compact postures that have shown high resistance to humidity and diseases. Aphids and cottony scale are two parasites that can easily attack it. It may find the appropriate collocation in any contest, from the low edges to the bottom ones, from the flower beds to the rocky gardens, due to the great variability of posture. The flower head can range in size from 4 to 15 centimeters, with the most varied forms being Giuseppe Mazza. The flower head can range in size from 4 to 15 centimeters, with the most diverse forms. Giuseppe Mazza. It is beneficial to remove withered flowers in order to achieve a richer and more prolonged flowering. Watering must be done on a regular but spaced basis to allow the superficial layer to dry out, and once well rooted, it can withstand dry periods. When watering, take care not to wet the leaves, as this will result in the formation of unsightly dark dots. It is also an excellent pot plant for decorating balconies, terraces, and patios, and the dwarf and compact varieties are especially recommended for this purpose. It is also widely used as a cut flower. For a long-lasting, 5 to 7 days, the flowers should be picked up when fully open and by early morning, taking off the lower leaves and immediately placing them in water. When properly dried, the flowers retain their colors well, with the exception of red and purple, which are frequently used in dry flower